Should Christians, or anyone else for that matter, celebrate Halloween? And if you do, are you in league with the devil? This up next on Chopping It Up with Stacie Lamar. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We have some great content for you today. But before we get started, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so that you're notified when we drop new content on the channel. Alright, I am Stacie Lamar, and I'm here with the Chopping It Up panel. Christina, go ahead and say hello to everybody.
Hey everybody, I hope everybody's doing good.
Alright, Matthew, say hey, what's up everybody?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
All right, so today we're going to be talking about should Christians, not just Christians, but should anybody be celebrating Halloween? But before Matt, Christina, and I chop this up, go ahead and check this out. This is John Ramirez. John Ramirez is an Satanist, devil worshiper. And here's what he has to say about Halloween and Christians celebrating the holiday.
A little bit about where you were in relation to Satanism and worshiping the devil.
Well, 25 years, 8 years old, little boy, 8 years old, demon church, learned being trained by high-ranked devil worshipers, warlock, and spiritual witches, training me to know how to take over territory, demonic contract, different demon territory, demons, principalities, first, second heaven. I was being trained all the way to the age of 35, sold my soul to the devil, got married in Halloween, had a demonic wedding in Halloween. I baptized my daughter to the dark side at the age of 11. So that was my whole entire life. I mean, I breathed, ate, and slept witchcraft. Astral projecting. I will astral project over region, leave my body, astral project, curse the region, because if I can curse the region, I can capture the people.
Knowing what you came from and what you used to do, you're pretty discouraged that you see Christians celebrating Halloween. Why?
I don't know how you can cheat on God. I don't know how you can cheat on the Lord Jesus Christ, because I don't see Satan as coming on Good Friday and coming hanging out with us, right? You know, I got married in Halloween and had a demonic wedding. Why would you put your kids, your family, why would you put your purpose, your destiny, why would you put your whole eternity in a demonic altar?
Well, people say it's just fun, candy, kids are having costumes on. But you
but
say it's much more.
The candy, you know, I never shared this before, but these candy, people from different walks of life pray over these candies. Witchcraft, they pray over the candies. You knock on people's door, you don't know if the person that you knock on, she's a witch. Okay, you don't know she's a witch, she's doing Wicca, she's practicing New Age, and you knock on her door and you coming in legal rights of this witch or this wall, or this person's practicing this stuff, giving you this kind of candy. Mm-hmm. Now you taking that stuff home, you put that stuff into your body. Mm-hmm. Amen? And on top of that, I'm Tom LaVaine said, out of his mouth, you know, he was the ruler of the Church of Satan, mm-hmm. right? Out of his mouth, he said, I want to thank every Christian parent for allowing their child to celebrate Halloween one time a year, the devil's holiday. And it took Adam and Eve to lose everything because of one mistake. Mm. It took Esau one circumstance to lose his birthrights. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So why would you bring that kind of curse into your house and curse your family from 3 to 4 generations? So when your kids is 5 and you think it's cool, you dress them up. Once you put a costume on someone, see, the trick of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, they were made in the image of God. They were made in God's perfect image, right? The devil tricked them with sin and changed their identity. Yeah. And once you put the costume on the kid, I don't care if you dress them up as Noah, I don't care if you dress them up as Abraham. Once you put this costume on Halloween, the birthright of Halloween, you're changing your kid's identity. The purpose of the destiny has been canceled unless you renounce it and bring it back. That is the trick of the devil.
Now that you're sharing, and you share this everywhere you go.
Everywhere I go, I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm not politically correct. I'd rather be right with God. You be mad with me, but at least you'll make heaven.
Yes.
You know, I mean, churches sometimes they get mad. They get mad with me. They get, oh, why are you saying that? Why are you talking that way? But how should I talk? If God told me to speak the truth. You know, I'm just a mailman.
Amen.
All right, so you guys have seen it. Christina, what did you think about what Mr. Ramirez has to say?
Oh my goodness. I gotta be honest, I really didn't know too much about that whole world. Like I knew it existed, but it was just never something that I had really seen or looked into or had any real information about. And when I watched it and he talked about the ritual that he did on his child, that was just almost too much for me, to be honest. Like, I'm well aware that, the devil is alive and well. And so it's like, to me, to be worshiping it is just crazy. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like maybe you don't really value your life or something happened to you to take you that direction. I just feel like I don't understand the whole process, but I was glad that I'm glad that he finally saw that is not a way to live. That's not a way to be a part of the world. Mm-hmm. I don't think that he was wrong at all about Halloween and how it does bring spirits out. We know that world does exist. Mm-hmm. And bringing them, by doing that, you're kind of bringing them into our world, which they don't exist in our world.
Okay. And,
that was very eye-opening for me, the whole video, to be honest.
Okay. Matt, what'd you think about what Mr. Ramirez had to say about Halloween?
Well, it was very interesting what he had to say, but in my opinion, we all pretty much, like Christina said, we all kind of know, there's good and there's evil. Mm-hmm. And to worship it would mean that, to me, you have evil in your heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So even if it wasn't about worshiping him, you have evil intentions for people or for certain things.
Okay.
So, and as far as Halloween goes, we've had discussions about that, and for me, the whole beginning of it was all about evil. And then they just changed it around to kind of bring in the kids and okay, we're going to put out candy now, this, that, and the other. But that's how the devil pretty much operates.
Okay.
A lot of people don't even understand that. They'll go through life and have everything going good for them. And then all of a sudden, it just goes bad.
Okay.
Okay, you've had your turn now. It's mine.
Okay, so you both are saying that what John is his first name, Mr. Ramirez, John Ramirez. And by the way, guys, you can find John Ramirez on YouTube. There are numerous shows with him, talking about, on this subject. So please look him up. As always, don't take, my word for it or what we talk about it. You have your own opinions, and please look up Mr. John Ramirez and tell me what you think. I mean, hit me up in the comments below. What your thoughts are on what he's talking about. Now, so in his video, he says that that Halloween is indeed the devil's holiday. His words, not mine. All right. So I'd like to know who deemed it the devil's holiday, because he never specifies that. He just says that Halloween was a day that Satanists chose, to do all their wicked stuff. someone somewhere deemed it the devil's holiday. So again, guys, hit me up. If you know, I want to know who deemed it the devil's holiday. Okay. He says that if you dress your child in a costume, doesn't matter whether it's a demon or a ghost or a pumpkin, Little Mermaid. Hell, you can even dress them as Noah, because I think he mentions that you can dress the kid as Noah. You are changing the identity of the child and therefore inviting evil spirits into your child's body. Okay? That is his belief. Okay. Trick-or-treating. Now, he did say something that I do agree with, but not just because it's on Halloween. But I think that this is something that's real. And, we all have children. But so we can attest to this, is that, you take your kids out trick-or-treating and you go up to this house, you have no idea what the person inside that house has done to that candy. Now John says that, the people in the house, if they are a practitioner of the whole Satan thing, they will pray over the candy, and put some voodoo stuff on it, whatever, and then give it to your candy, and then, give it to your kids, and then the kids go home and they ingest this, and, this evil. Now, I'm not saying that, there are, people are in there praying, putting evil spells on candy, but as we all know, people do some crazy junk, in the name of, So that I do agree with him, that, you are putting your children at risk, at the mercy of, whoever is giving out the candy. And you just never know these days. It could be the little old lady that you would never think would do anything crazy, So I agree with that. But guys, the question that I want to pose to you with what John stated, again, who deemed it the devil's holiday? And isn't October 31st, isn't that just the day that they chose to do this? It doesn't say anywhere that October 31st, is the devil's holiday, because that's why I keep bringing up who deemed it that. Was it a dude across the street? It wasn't me. It wasn't either of you. Who did it? Who said October 31st is the devil's holiday? And you have the Hispanic culture, you have the Day of the Dead, where they celebrate similar, they will go and pay homage to their loved ones by leaving food and whatnot. They dress up, they have these things going on. Is that evil as well? Is that the devil's holiday? It's pretty similar, Matt. So what do you think? Is the Day of the Dead and Halloween is the Day of the Dead evil as well?
I would say so. I would say it's pretty much the same thing as Halloween.
Mm-hmm. But why?
Because you're still celebrating the dead.
Uh-huh.
And it says you're not supposed to celebrate the dead. So that's pretty much the same thing as Halloween.
Okay, Christina, what do you think? Day of the Dead, Halloween, same thing, not? And if so, is Day of the Dead evil? Is that the devil's holiday as well?
I think it has the same premise, even though it's not on the same day. Day of the Dead is like a week after, or is it before? But it's right around the same date, but it's not the same date.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reality truth of the matter is that this could be on any day of the year,
mm-hmm.
and it could be the same effect. Like it's not the day.
Mm-hmm.
My father's birthday was on Halloween.
Okay. So
we used to have some major party and I was a kid, and I mean, it was never like shown to me as being evil. It was just like a fun time, you know. And
Okay.
so it wasn't until I got older that I even realized the meanings behind it, or even learned anything about any of that. Which I do see now that probably made me more vulnerable than somebody who did have knowledge, or you know what I mean, like, because I feel like you have to be, in order for you go, if a child walks up to a house and is trick or treat or whatever, I mean, demon possession is a real thing. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but I actually have seen that in real life, and it is actually a real thing. However, a demon's not going to go into every body. You know what I mean? There has to be some sort of vulnerability within that person or that child for that demon to be able to enter.
So you're saying,
Does that make sense?
that what John says is that once you put the costume on the child, you are making them vulnerable for demon possession. So is that what you are saying right now? That
I don't know if I'm saying that. I don't know if I'm saying that. I'm just saying that I think that by going up to doors, you're making them a little bit more vulnerable to whatever those people have going on in their house.
Nope.
Whether it be good or bad.
I totally agree with that. Now that I've said, I agree with that.
It's the same thing as like, you don't let your kids go spend the night over at their friend's house when you don't know the parents or the family, because you don't know what they are doing in the house, because you don't know what could happen to your kid,
Exactly.
So it's like kind of like the same idea, right? But it's just on a certain one day.
Right.
I feel like because it has been deemed as that holiday, you're more likely for something to happen on that day than any other day, because there's more of it going around, right? So
okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So all right. So let's go ahead and take a listen to and Daniel, forgive me if I mispronounce your last name. Daniel Merritt's. Now Daniel has a channel on YouTube called DLM Christian Lifestyle. Now, Daniel is somebody that I watch regularly, because he's like chopping it up, really. But from a Christian standpoint, because he keeps it real, and I like that. He keeps it real. Now, what Daniel, go ahead and listen. Go ahead and watch this and see what he has to say about Halloween and its origins.
Some people celebrate Halloween because they want to remember the dead. That is actually what Halloween was created for. Some Christians even go to church and they light candles on the graves of those who passed away already. The Wikipedia has this to say about Halloween. Halloween, or Halloween, a contraction of All Hallows Evening, also known as All Halloween. All Hallows Eve, or All Saints Eve, is a celebration observed in many countries on 31 October, the eve of the Western Christian feast of All Hallows Day. It begins the observance with All Hallowtide, the time in the liturgical year dedicated to remembering the dead, including saints, hallows, martyrs, and all the faithful departed. So Halloween was a celebration to honor or remember the dead. It was called All Hallows Eve, but many people can trace it back all the way to the pagans, specifically a Celtic pagan celebration called Samhain. Now this was basically a magical harvest festival that prepared people for the winter that was to come. It was not Christian at all. It was used to worship specifically other gods, pagan gods. GodQuestions.org says this: at Samhain, farmers brought livestock in from summer pastures and people gathered to build shelters for winter. The festival also had religious significance, and people burned fruits, vegetables, grain, and possibly animals as offerings to the gods. In ancient Celtic stories, Samhain was a magical time of transition when important battles were fought and fairies cast spells. It was a time when the barriers between the natural world and the supernatural were broken. The Celts believed that the dead could walk among the living at this time. During Samhain, the living could visit with the dead, who they believed held secrets of the future. Scholars believe that Halloween's association with ghosts, food, and fortune-telling began with these pagan customs more than 2,000 years ago. Now remember, in the 800s after Christ, a lot of the pagans became Christians, but their customs still survived and they merged it with Christian holidays. Now listen carefully. The Catholic Church celebrated All Saints' Day on the 1st of November and All Souls' Day on the 2nd. But there was a problem. These days were too close to Samhain, so they didn't like it because, of course, Samhain was a festival for pagans, right? Celebrated other gods, not Jesus Christ, not God. So a lot of people believed what they did is they chose to merge it and call it Halloween. Now, of course, today there are also people who see Halloween as the day before All Saints' Day. So they remember who?
All right, so guys, really quick, I'm just going to touch on some things that Daniel talked about. He said that the original origins, what a Halloween was originally meant for, what it was in the beginning. It was All Hallows Eve. It was a time to remember the dead. Okay, remember martyrs and remember saints and all the faithful departed Christians. Okay, so nowhere in there, in the beginning, on All Hallows Eve, did the devil come up. This was a good thing. Now, you guys agree with that? With what I just read? This is from Daniel's video. What he said, All Hallows Eve was a time to remember the dead, martyrs, saints, and all faithful departed Christians. Okay? Doesn't say we're going to go, kill some animals or whatever it is you do when you worship the devil. But none of that was in there. Okay? The original Halloween was called Samhain, and that it was pagan. And even in its earliest stages, there was nothing, menacing or bad or devil worshiping. It was, their offering to their gods. Because remember, the pagans, they had gods for everything, god of the corn, god of this, god of that. So they were, basically, thanking their gods, for a bountiful harvest and just thank you to their gods. But again, it was a good thing, right? He didn't mention anything about devil worshiping or Satan or anything like that. So Halloween, in its earliest form, was about paying thanks, similar to Day of the Dead in the Hispanic culture. So, Matt, what do you got to say about the first part of Daniel's video? The origin of Halloween.
Well, that was very interesting because from what I had gathered, I heard it kind of started off a different way. Mm-hmm. But I'm really kind of interested in where it went to this devil worshiping and everything.
Okay. Christina, what do you say? What do you have to say about what Daniel said during that portion of the video?
Yeah, I would love to know where we came from, where it started to where it's at now. Mm-hmm. Was it
okay,
the candy industry and the costume industry and everything that decided, hey, let's make a holiday where we can make some money. And, was it like then, like how they say Valentine's Day was made up by the card industry, Was it something like that? Or was it and it just kind of escalated from there, or was it actual devil worshippers that decided that they wanted to use the holiday as a way to maybe bring their beliefs to the masses? Is what I think might have happened.
Well, anything where we see we can make some money. I mean, hell, they did it to Christmas. I mean, so anywhere where money can be made and generated, then yeah, we gonna get involved and do some. We gonna manipulate it, in our best interest to make money. All right, so in that clip, Daniel also mentions that because we Christianity, it was spreading, right? The church wanted to spread Christianity. Everybody, needed to be Christian, right? You guys remember that? You guys know that? Everybody, because they had the holy wars where people were, the Christians were they were. Whether you did it, by choice or by force, you were going to be a Christian. You were going to convert. Okay. So the pagans, they gave in, if you will. They're like, okay, we'll go ahead and come around to your way of thinking. But the Christians had the holiday. They had All Saints Day, which was November 1st, and then they had All Souls Day, which was November 2nd. So pagans, they had All Hallows Eve, which was on the 31st. So those 3 days were too close. You're trying to convert everybody to Christianity. And the pagans got their thing. The Christians have their thing. And so the Christians just said, okay, look, we are going to just merge all this together. We'll just put it all together and make it one day. And that is, where we get the All Hallows Eve, thing, Halloween. It's a combination of All Saints Day and All Souls Day. So November 1st, November 2nd, and October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd. So
okay, so wait, so All Saints Day and the two November 1st and 2nd, those were Christian holidays?
Those were Christian holidays
that were supposed to celebrate with what purpose? Like, what was the purpose of them?
Well, pretty much the same purpose as the All Hallow, with the pagans. Pretty much the same thing. They were celebrating the saints, they're dead, same thing, really. So they had their version of it. Pagans had their version of it. They were like, okay, we can't have it, so we're gonna put all this together. All right. So, and actually, you guys, what you guys were talking about, Christians did this, right? They did this. And guys, I mean, if I am speaking an untruth, please let me hear from you down below. Okay, let me know where I am not correct, so to speak. All right, so we know now that it was of Christian origin. So it leads me back to what we were talking about before. Who deemed it the devil's holiday? Who? And again, if you know, I want you to tell me in the comments below, who deemed it the devil's holiday? That is the big question in my mind, is where'd that come from? So John Ramirez, if you see this show, get with me. I want to know, who deemed it the devil's holiday? All right, so let's take another look at another portion of Daniel's video, and what he has to say about why, the Satanists maybe chose this day, to do all their hocus pocus, witchery, and all the other stuff they were getting into.
You've got to understand about Halloween is it changed a lot over the years, and different cultures And different religions see Halloween differently. Now, yeah, some groups celebrate Satan. Some just party. Some remember the dead. Some dress up. Some carve pumpkins. Some play divination games. Some play pranks on people. Some tell scary stories. Some watch horror films. And some want nothing to do with it. But the question remains, should Christians celebrate Halloween? What does the Bible say about Halloween? Well, you can read through the whole Bible, but it doesn't say anything about Halloween because Halloween did not exist back then. But the Bible does say plenty about staying away from all forms of evil. It tells us not to talk to the dead, not to be part of witchcraft or worshiping any other gods. For example, Leviticus 20 verse 6 says, if a person turns to mediums and necromancers, whoring after them, I will set my face against that person and will cut him off from among his people. Isaiah 8 verse 19, and when they say to you, inquire of the mediums and the necromancers who chirp and mutter, should not a people inquire of their God? Should they inquire of the dead on behalf of the living? And 2 Chronicles 33 verse 6 says, and he burned his sons as an offering in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and used fortune-telling and omens and sorcery, and dealt with mediums and with necromancers. He did much evil in the sight of the Lord, provoking him to anger. So we clearly see that the Bible, God, is against all these dark things. Now, if you want to look at Halloween, and you want to remember the day of Martin Luther, the Reformation, and you want to celebrate our freedom in Christ, then that is fine. But that does not mean that you're celebrating Halloween. You're just celebrating freedom in Christ.
All right, so, Christina, in the video, Daniel says that there is no mention of that Christians should not be celebrating Halloween in the Bible. Now, this is coming from Daniel Merritz, who is, man, I gotta tell you, the man is good. If I'm watching him and you know, hey, this is pretty good, then the man is good. So, in the Bible, and check it out. Check it out. It does not state in there, and this is the book now, it states in there nowhere that Christians should not celebrate Halloween. Now I will say that it doesn't state that because Halloween wasn't around then. You know what I mean? So it kind of so it didn't exist. So I'm going to throw that out there. You know, here I'm making a point going, it doesn't say it at all. But it didn't exist. So in all fairness, it didn't even exist. So this where Daniel is saying where the why people choose to do these evil things on this day is because on that day, and this is straight from his video, the barriers between the natural world and the supernatural world are broken, which means that whatever wall, veil, curtain, whatever separates
thinnest on that day.
Well, he didn't say thinnest. He said it's gone. He said it's
gone.
Yeah, he said it's broken. Now that could mean it's thin, thin. But I took it. I took it to well, it's in the book. He says that this is when it's that is broken. He says the dead are now able to walk amongst the living, and if you were to speak with the dead, they can hold secrets to the future. So he thinks that this is why the Satanists chose this day, Halloween, to do their stuff. Because this is when the dead, supposedly now, this is when the dead can move amongst the living. Okay? So,
and who did that? That particular day Yes, that's what I want to know. Who found out that on October 31st,
Mhm.
the barrier is down and the dead can move amongst us? Who
Well-
found that out?
Well, that was way back in the pagan. It started there because that's when they said it. The pagans said it, and then it just carried on. To that is the belief that on that day, and forgive me, guys. Good question, Matt. There, you got that whole solstice and all that other stuff going on, but that has a lot to do with it too. But this is on this day is when that veil is thinnest or broken, and that's why Daniel thinks or believes that this is why the Satanists chose Halloween to do their stuff. Now, hear me when I say chose. And Christina, you touched on it. You said that it could be any day, right? They could have chose October 20th to do
So this is the thing. There is a veil between the living earth that we live in and the dead. There is what they call a veil, and you can think of it as like a wall or a thin wall.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't necessarily. It does get thinner through through the year. However, it's there all the time. Like there's no, I don't know. I'm confused now because what I know about it and what you're saying is kind of contradictory.
So did you guys? I mean, the video that we were watching, it specifically says that on this day, the veil.
Yeah, but
is,
I don't know if I believe that. But
okay, all right. Then that's
I'm with you, Christina.
okay.
I don't know if I can fight on that one.
Okay.
I really don't. Who decided that this particular day is the day that happens?
Okay.
Because I know for a fact spirits move amongst us because I've dealt with spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it wasn't on Halloween, it wasn't in no October or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
It can be in July.
Yes.
Okay.
And like they say, okay, there is a veil, but some spirits actually get trapped on this side of the veil.
Yeah.
They don't have to necessarily be evil. I've never dealt with an evil spirit, but I have dealt with spirits. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, well.
Okay. So we're getting off track. We're getting off track here. All we're talking about is why October 31st is deemed by Satanists the devil's holiday. Why is Halloween October 31st bad? That's what we're talking about. Okay? And to me, the Satanists, they chose this day to do their thing because of the belief that on this day they can commune with spirits. Now, like you guys said, I mean, they could have chose the 20th or the 1st. It doesn't matter. But they chose this day because this is the day that, everybody says that this is when, spirits walk among us. And what better day to do your thing is, when, this veil is supposed to be at its thinnest. Now,
and maybe it could be that on this day, that's when the evil spirits can move across that veil. Maybe that's what it is.
But see, but like you said,
why this particular day, I have no clue.
Right. Well, this is the day that they chose. They being the Satanists. This is the day they chose. And this is my point. They chose this day. It could have been any day, like Christina said. It could have been in July. But on the day that that they chose. Okay, let's say hypothetically it was the 4th of July. The Satanists, for whatever reason, chose that day to sacrifice and and I think John even said he baptized this child into demonic whatever. But what if they chose to do it on the 4th of July? So now is the 4th of July evil? Should we not celebrate? Should we not celebrate should we not celebrate Independence Day because the Satanists, the devil worshippers chose this day to do their thing? Now it's bad. Now it's evil. And if you freaking put a flag out in front of your house or pop a firework, you are worshiping the devil because this is the day when they do their stuff. You see what I'm saying? This is the day. This is the day they chose. They chose this day, and because they choose to do.
What makes it? So it's literally a man-made holiday.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we know that.
It's literally a man-made holiday.
Right.
Was this the day that somebody they did something on that day that was just real evil, and they just said, "Okay, we're gonna make it this day."
Okay. So yeah.
I mean, the thing is that they had, all the 3 of those holidays that they decided to encompass into one, and realized that there was a lot of people out. There was a lot of people interested in it. A lot of people were participating, and maybe it was a great day for them to do whatever it is that they do to try to bring more, people into the fold of how they believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of escalated from there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But that's how I think. I mean, I don't know how many people are there in the Stacie. Do we even know? Because I don't think it's that large.
I'm sorry. What was the question? What did you say?
How many people are in the United States or even in the world that believe, that follow that book or are Satanists? I guess. How many? It's not that large, is it?
It could be. Who knows? I don't know. It could be.
I think it's a lot bigger than we may know.
Yeah.
Only because, but you got to remember this. That certain thing. If the Satanists don't really want any attention brought to them, they probably can figure out ways to do whatever they do undercover to keep people from actually knowing. Well, you know what? This whole damn neighborhood is Satan's.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's friendly up in there and everything, but they got some strange stuff going on in their house. Everybody in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You don't know that.
Yeah. Now, that was the one thing that I did agree. Like I said, I did agree with John on that. And the fact that, you take your child out and send them up to the door and they knock on the door. You don't know what the heck is going on in that house.
Exactly.
The chick, the guy or the couple could have just finished, killing up somebody. And then, they wash their hands and come to the door with a smile and go, "Hey, oh my God, how lovely," and throw some candy in the bag. You have no idea.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, never know.
But, again, the question is, though, because I decorate my house, put a pumpkin out in front, and allow my kid to go trick-or-treating, am I in league with the devil?
Didn't he say in the video something about pumpkins?
He did.
He said something about pumpkins.
He did.
They said something about pumpkins, and they also said when you do stuff like that, you are inviting evil into your home.
Exactly.
So
exactly. He did say that, yes.
So
yes, I would think
that, but, again, where does it say that? It doesn't say it in the Bible.
No, it don't.
It doesn't say it in the Bible. So who came up with that? And the only people that I can think of that would come up with something like that would be the devil worshippers, the Satanists. These are their beliefs, not mine. These are theirs.
Yeah.
And I know for you for the people that are watching, you're going, well, when I say not mine, you're going, well, Stacie, you might not be a Christian or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not my belief. Okay. So if I put a pumpkin out in front of my house and I'm just putting it out there just to go, hey, welcome fall, or, hey, welcome little kid, whatever, I put my pumpkin out there.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not putting it out there to go, hail Satan, then I am not in league with the devil. Make sense? That's their belief. That's what they believe.
Are you carving up the pumpkin, or are you just setting a pumpkin out in front of the house to celebrate fall?
Oh, no, man. I don't carve pumpkin. I ain't got time for that. I go buy one of them.
Okay.
I don't have time for that.
If you carve a pumpkin with a big old smile on his face and something like that, yeah. But if you carve the pumpkin and trying to make it look evil and scary and all of that stuff, man, what's going through your brain when you doing this stuff?
Yeah.
What's in your heart when you doing this stuff?
All right.
Well, some people are there's a lot of people that are just really into the holiday of Halloween. They like to decorate their house. They like the whole thing of Halloween, just like some people are really into Christmas. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that are into Christmas for religious reasons. There's a whole other group of people that are into Christmas for the decorations and all of the stuff that goes on around Christmas. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but the thing of it is any person that's been, I can speak for them because I feel like this is probably just the truth without needing to talk to them. Any person that's actually been, possessed by a demon, I'm pretty sure that they didn't have the intention of that. You know what I mean? They didn't go looking for that. Mm-hmm. There was something inside of them that allowed that demon to enter. So, it still could be a signal to something that you don't want in your home, even though you might think, I'm just decorating and I'm being part of the, holiday and having a good time.
Okay. All right. That's valid. That's valid, because how many times, how you see it in the movies, how many times people go messing around with something and they're just doing it to have a good time, and next thing you know,
right.
The chick's head is spinning around. So yeah, that's valid. That's valid. So I might not have any intention on inviting anything bad into my house, but yeah, that is a good point, Christina. All right. So Halloween is it's celebrated differently, different cultures. You do have the people that legitimately celebrate their dead. They remember saints and other Christians and whatnot. So you have people that legitimately do that. Okay, this is what they do on October 31st. Then you have the people which make up a large majority of the population. They just party. Okay, there is nothing satanic about it. Halloween for them is a chance to lose all their inhibition. I'm going to dress up, put this mask on, and for however long, 4 hours this party lasts or whatever, I'm not me. I get to go do whatever the heck I want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some people do that. And then there's other people that, don't care for it at all. They do nothing. They might, go watch and binge Netflix, I don't know, binge a series or two. So different cultures, different people celebrate it differently. But the point I'm trying to make here is that this you are in league with the devil thing is man-made. They being the devil worshippers made this day. This is what you use this day for. All of your bad stuff. Now they do bad stuff throughout the year. But according to John, on this day, this is the day that you gotta get it done. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is the day you gotta get it all. You gotta hook this up because
Well, in anything that you do, there's power in numbers. So if they're doing it all on the same day, it's going to be stronger than it would be them doing it individually on whatever day they choose. Mm-hmm. Right?
Okay. Now, also, Daniel did state that in the Bible, now it does say this, because I had to go look, it does say this. And, forgive me, guys, I'm not going to get off into the, the whole these and thous thing. I'm going to put it to you in layman's terms. So basically it says, and in there, it's in there. It says, God does not want you messing around with fortune tellers. He doesn't want you messing around with, people that talk to the dead. You're not supposed to be talking to the dead. So you're not supposed to be doing that. All right. And then he says, just basically stay away from evil. So again, it's Halloween, October 31st. And I go, Matt, Christina, man, y'all come over, man. I'm gonna throw this party. It's gonna be lit. I'm gonna kill up a few animals, and we're gonna drink some blood. And man, y'all got to come over and hang with me. Now that's bad. That God said, Matthew, Christina, no, y'all don't go hang with Stacie on that day. Y'all leave Stacie alone.
Right.
Now that's in there. That is in there. Black and white. It's in there. So he basically says, don't do that. But again, it doesn't say that you can't celebrate Halloween. Okay.
But Halloween wasn't a thing when the Bible was written, so
I know, but I'm just saying.
You have to kind of like go with the other things that it says, and there's a little bit of inference that you probably have to make.
Yeah.
Every pastor I've ever met, and I've met, I can't say I've met them all, but I've met a few. None of them celebrate Halloween. Like none of them.
Okay.
I've never met a Christian pastor that, and people that are just pretty, that are like very Christian or go to church every Sunday and all that. They don't celebrate Halloween.
Okay.
And I
but
never
that's
asked why.
But that's by.
I never asked them why, but
that's by choice.
Something to do with this.
Yeah, that's by choice because again, he gave you guidelines. There are guidelines. Don't do this, and you're good. It's in there. The man, God said, don't do this, and most definitely don't do that. So you stay away from that, and you should be good. Now I'm going to tell you what Daniel. So guys, go ahead and watch this last portion of his video, and what he says his personal beliefs are on celebrating Halloween.
Now, personally, I will not celebrate Halloween. But that does not mean that I will wake up that day and just think the whole day is evil. No, because every day comes from God. It doesn't mean that I have to celebrate Halloween, but every day that I have air in my lungs is a day that I can honor and praise Jesus Christ, and that's what I will do. But I will not celebrate Halloween because, for me, I see it this way. We are in the world, but we are not part of the world. We are set apart. We should, I'm saying should because a lot of Christians don't do it anymore, but we should live holy.
Okay, so, and again, I love this guy. Now, I think the tail end of this, he kind of went politically correct, in my opinion. I think he said what Christina just said. I think he kind of went with what Christians want to hear. At least that's the way I felt, because he was all in it, throughout the whole video, and then he went, politically correct on me. But he says, in his opinion, that he does not celebrate Halloween. And he says he bases it on being a lukewarm Christian, or the whole thing where you are in the world but not of the world kind of thing. And to me, that just kind of translates into, it's kind of iffy. Yeah, even if I follow these rules that are clearly set, the boundaries that have been set for me, it's still questionable. So if it's questionable, I'm just not going to do it. So that's what I got out of it. He says, and I quote, I personally don't do it. He's not saying that you can't do it, but he says, I personally don't do it. And then, like I said, the reasons being is because, everything that I do is for the glory of God. This is kind of iffy, so I just don't do it. So that's why I think that Christians make that choice, that it's kind of iffy. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let that one go. Error on the side of caution, if you will.
Uh-huh.
So, guys, I really, Daniel, if you see this video, I want to hear from you. John Ramirez, if you see this video, I want to hear from you. People watching this video, I want to hear from you. Please, I want to know your thoughts on this topic. Okay, because this is something that has been going on for years. And I just, like I said, there are questions that I have. I want to know, number one, like I keep saying, who deemed it the devil's holiday? That's one. And then Christians, please, like Christina said, I want to know why you don't celebrate it. Is it you're erring on the side of caution, or is there something that you read or found that specifically says that you're not supposed to do it? Okay. So closing thoughts. Myself. Now, Christina, you like I said, unless you guys steer me in another direction, my thing was that it doesn't say I can't do it, and it gave me clear boundaries of what I'm not supposed to be doing with regards to Halloween. So as long as I follow the rules, I'm straight. However, you said something that made me change my mind, because I could inadvertently, do something that puts myself or my child in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So that I totally agree with. It's like, you're in the garage and you and your child are doing a freaking experiment, and you're going, I wonder what this does, and you pour it in the freaking test tube and the thing blows up. Well, if you don't know what it does, you'd be like, you know what, baby, we're not gonna use this, because I have no idea.
You can see all that with this. You can't see whatever it is they're trying to do. You're not going to see it.
Exactly.
Until it happens.
Exactly. So that right there, that statement that you made makes me think, okay, it's not what I'm intending it to be for or intending it to do. I'm not intending. I don't want any evil spirits in my house, or I don't want. I had no. But I could inadvertently do it, unknowingly do it, just by a simple, innocent little pumpkin or whatever. Next thing I know, next thing you know, I'm calling the priest. Yo, man, can you come say a few words?
Right.
So,
for sure.
Yeah. So
either that or you calling a realtor telling them, man, I got to move.
Oh, no. Too much vested.
Have you ever seen the movie The Entity?
No.
It's an old movie, man. Well, this lady got a spirit in her house, man, and the spirit was actually molesting her. And when she moved, the spirit followed her.
Oh. Well, see, it didn't do any good for her to move or sell the house. But no. Yeah, no, I would take every measure I could not to be moving out of my house. But anyway, so, closing thoughts, guys. So what do you think? Should you be celebrating Halloween? Is it okay to celebrate Halloween? Christina, is it okay? Or you say no because it's for fear of the unknown?
I mean, my kids, when they were at that age of trick-or-treating and stuff, they always went out, and we always trick-or-treated, but we always just stayed within the neighborhoods that we knew, the people that we knew. Luckily, the area that we live in, I grew up in the area, so I know a lot of the family, so it was not really like, something that I really needed to be so stressed about, because I could just take my kids to the people that we knew and feel comfortable in that way. I still will probably do some sort of decoration or whatever, but I also believe in staying prayed up. You know what I mean? And keeping that pathway open to God to be able to protect me if something was to come my direction. Okay. So, I mean, that's just how I move through the world. I haven't had any problems yet, so,
Okay.
Pray to God that I don't.
Yeah. All right, Matt. What you say, man? Is it okay? Is it okay to celebrate Halloween, or no, or and if so, if not, why? Is it for fear of the unknown that you might inadvertently cause something, or do you as a Christian, you're just saying, I just don't do it?
Well, I just don't celebrate the holiday anyway, but personally, yeah, I think you could inadvertently. It depends on what's going on with you at a particular time, too, though. Let's say you're going through something and it's got you really upset right now. I think that's the time you're more vulnerable for something like that to happen.
Right.
Then, if you in a good mood and everything's going along real smooth or whatever, it might not be going along that so smooth, but it doesn't have you in an angry state.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I think, you cool. But if you're trying to celebrate this holiday and you pissed off and maybe even have some evil intentions within your mind,
mm-hmm.
I think something could slip in and it may not slip into you, it may slip into the house.
Yeah.
Just because, of what's going on with you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you like you said you yourself personally don't celebrate the holiday.
No, and it really doesn't even have anything to do with being a Christian or anything like that. It's just not. I think for me, growing up, it was just a kid's holiday to me,
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any kids, once your kids grow up, it's like, okay, well, shit, what do I need to celebrate this holiday for? It's about candy and all of that kind of stuff. I don't eat candy and stuff like that, so what do I need to celebrate this holiday for? I got going to parties and all of that stuff, so you got a bunch of drunk people out on the street, so I'm staying at home.
Yeah. Okay. That's real. That's probably one of the realest things that we got going on right now with this, what you just said with that holiday. You don't want to be out in madness. Because I think that people use that holiday, just like the devil worshippers do, as a day to do bad things, just because it's that day.
Yeah.
And so rather than put yourself out there and, subject to people doing stupid things on that day, you just stay in. All right. So that's real. All right. So guys, that's it. Let me hear from you. I really, really, really want to hear from you in the comments below. What we talked about today. And I have one question. I have one question for you guys, and please put this in the comments below. The Codex Giga, and forgive me if I mispronounced that. The Codex Giga, the Devil's Bible. Who named that the Devil's Bible? Because the contents weren't all evil. So if anyone knows why that's called the Devil's Bible, please let me know. And if you'd like for me to do a show on the Codex Giga, please let me know that as well. All right. Again, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. I'm Stacie Lamar. Got Matt, Christina, and we are out.